This week, we're making Reuben Chaffles, sort of. You'll see what I mean right after this. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This week, for our chaffle recipe, we're gonna sort of play off of last week's kimchi chaffle recipe. A couple of people mentioned maybe trying to use sauerkraut and make a Reuben type chaffle. So I've got some sauerkraut here, and then we've got some corned beef, just a slice of corned beef that I've cut up into strips. And then I've got some Swiss cheese that's shredded. That's about 3/4 of a cup of Swiss cheese. We've got some salt and pepper here. And then we've got about half a teaspoon of caraway seeds. You see here, that'll give it the sort of rye bread flavor. I've made rye bread chaffles in the past. They turn out really good. We never actually put all of the ingredients into one chaffle. Now, we're gonna have 2 eggs, by the way, for this recipe this week. Now we're missing like a Thousand Island dressing part to this recipe. A, I don't have anything that's sugar-free, and B, it may not go too well inside the chaffle. So for this purpose of this video, we're gonna leave that out. So this is a mostly Reuben chaffle, basically. So we'll get set up and we'll start mixing these chaffles and see how they come together. So we've got our 2 eggs ready to go in the bowl here. Now we're using 2 eggs this week instead of the usual 1 because we are adding extra volume with the sauerkraut and the corned beef. I just find that whenever you're adding more ingredients, you may need to add a second egg just to make it so that the chaffles aren't too dry. Plus, you're going to wind up getting more chaffles out of the deal, so that's never a bad thing. So we'll get our Swiss cheese mixed in with the eggs. Now, for all of the chaffle recipes I've ever done, I'm not entirely sure that I've ever even used Swiss cheese. So we'll see how this turns out. I can't see how it could turn out bad, but typically it's like a sharp cheddar or a mozzarella that I use. Once in a while we use Parmesan, but this week, sticking with the Reuben theme, we're going to use Swiss cheese. Now what we'll do is we'll add in our salt and pepper and our caraway seeds first, just to get those mixed in properly before we start adding the rest of the ingredients. Now again, that was about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then just some fresh cracked black pepper, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of the caraway seeds. That again, the caraway seeds help give these the rye bread flavor that we're looking for in these chaffles. So that's all nicely mixed in. Now we'll add in our corned beef. Again, this is just 1 slice of corned beef that I cut up into strips. This way it'll distribute itself evenly through the chaffles, and make sure you're going to get some of the corned beef in every bite, which of course is what we're ultimately going for here. So again, not really much mixing to do with those. And now this is probably about 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut that we're putting in here. I'll just mix that in here and give it a nice vinegary taste to these chaffles as well. So we'll get that all well mixed together, kind of thing. And that's pretty much it for the ingredients for these chaffles. They definitely smell good already with that caraway seeds and the sauerkraut. They're both coming through pretty strong. So we'll get the Dash Minis warmed up and we'll start cooking these chaffles. Now just a quick note for any of you who haven't seen the Dash Minis that I use. These are the 4-inch Dash Minis, but these are the multi-maker ones that allow you to pull the grills off and change them. And there's some fancy like Christmas themed, or you can get dinosaur type grill plates. Way easier to clean than the regular Dash Mini, and the same thing with the bottom. The bottom plate comes off as well. as you can see. So just a quick note, I've got a video on the channel that I'll put a link to just to go over how these work and how much they cost. I really do enjoy using them. So our Dash Minis are warmed up, and you can tell they're preheated when the light goes off. When you plug them in, the light comes on. When they come up to temperature, that light will go off, and you can usually hear it too. There's like a pop from the element, or from the switch that's turning it off when it comes up to heat. So we've got our chaffle mix here. We're just going to start adding it in to the first waffle iron here. Make sure we get enough of the egg in there. We don't want it to be too dry. We want the egg to help bind things together. A couple of scoops into that one, and then we'll put a little bit of the egg in there as well. That should be plenty. Maybe put a little bit more in this one. Spread it out just a little bit. So we'll close these up, and they'll probably take, 4 or 5 minutes to cook, and we'll come back and see how they turned out. Okay, so our chaffles have been cooking for about 4 minutes. You can see they're nice and golden brown, nice and firm, which is what we're looking for. They're not too soft. So we'll get this first one out of the waffle iron. You see it's nice and cooked on both sides. Now we're going to set these aside on a wire rack to cool kind of thing before we try them. And what I'll do is I'll cook up this last chaffle that we have here, and I'll bring you back when we got that one done, and we'll give them a try. Okay, our chaffles are done. This was the third one that I made. It was a little less mix, a little less egg, but it still turned out really good. You can see the pieces of corned beef in there. So let's open this up, see how the cheese pull is. That Swiss cheese is pretty nice and gooey. You can see the corned beef and the sauerkraut and the caraway seeds in there. It smells really good. But let's give this a try, see how it turned out. Yep, it's got a lot of the good flavors of a Reuben in there. Now again, we're missing the sort of Thousand Island dressing aspect of a Reuben, so I get it. It's not actually a Reuben chaffle, but we've put everything else in it that we could, and I still think it turned out good. I give it a thumbs up. Give it a try. It's all ingredients that are pretty easy to get, not too expensive, and it makes for a really tasty chaffle. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We've got lots of chaffle recipes on the channel. We add new videos every week and go live Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So until next time, keep on thriving, my friends.